Welcome to the second lecture. I'm engineer Ahmed Abdelgayed. In the first lecture, we discussed the different types of cranes and lifting operations in general. Today, we will continue our discussion on safe lifting operations using cranes in construction sites. We will cover critical aspects of ensuring safe lifting practices. We will also discuss the case study we reviewed in the previous lecture about an incident that occurred during the lifting of a precast concrete panel, and we will analyze the root causes of this incident and how to avoid similar issues in the future. As we discussed in the previous lecture, an incident occurred during the lifting of a precast concrete panel where the panel detached and fell from height. The equipment was damaged, but fortunately, there were no injuries thanks to the proper implementation of exclusion zones, which played a key role in protecting workers. Today, we will analyze the root causes of this incident and discuss preventive measures. Root causes and preventive measures. Let's start by identifying the root causes of the incident. Improper rigging. The panel was not secured properly, which led to its detachment during lifting. Equipment. Failure. There may have been a fault in one of the lifting accessories or the crane itself. Improper load distribution. The center of gravity was not accurately calculated. Lack of training and supervision. There was insufficient training for the team and lack of proper supervision during the operation. Absence of a detailed lift plan or risk assessment. There was no written lift plan or comprehensive risk assessment. Preventive measures to avoid such incidents include accurate load assessment, including weight, dimensions, and center of gravity. Proper selection and inspection of equipment regularly. Preparation of a written lift plan with all necessary details. Proper training and supervision for all team members. Thorough risk assessment before starting any lifting operation. To ensure any lifting operation is executed safely and efficiently, there are three core components that must always be in place. 1. Lift planning documentation. Every lifting operation must begin with a detailed written plan. This documentation should be tailored to the specific lift, not copied from previous jobs. It must include all relevant technical details, such as crane capacity, load weight, rigging methods, and site conditions, as well as names and roles of all team members involved. Proper lift planning prevents confusion and keeps everyone aligned before the operation begins. 2. Risk assessment procedures. Next is the identification and evaluation of potential hazards. This includes checking the ground condition, surrounding obstacles, wind speeds, load stability, and more. A thorough risk assessment allows us to take preventive actions before any incident can occur. Every lift comes with its own unique risks, so this step must be done individually for each lift. 3. Roles and responsibilities. Finally, success depends on people and they must know their roles. Everyone involved in the lifting operation, from the crane operator to the signalman, the rigger, and the supervisor, must have clearly defined responsibilities. This ensures proper coordination and helps avoid miscommunication, which is one of the leading causes of lifting incidents. When all three of these components are present and well executed, we significantly reduce the risk of accidents and ensure a safe lifting environment. When it comes to lifting operations, planning is not optional, it's critical. Professional and safe lifting begins with precise planning and thorough documentation. Generic or copy-paste lift plans simply don't work. Each lift is unique and must be addressed with a tailored approach that aligns with your company's specific protocols and site conditions. Without proper documentation, we open the door to miscommunication, compliance violations, and most importantly, risking the safety of people on site. A well-prepared lift plan must include 1. Project information. This covers the basics, the date of the lift, project name, and contractor details, so that the plan is traceable and aligned with the actual job. 2. Equipment specifications. Details such as the type and capacity of the crane, the maximum load weight, and any special lifting accessories must be clearly stated to ensure compatibility and safety. 3. Personnel details. Every member of the lifting team should be listed by name and qualification. This ensures accountability and confirms that only trained and certified personnel are involved. 4. Operation methods. This section outlines the rigging techniques to be used, the load path, and the exclusion zones to be enforced for safety. In summary, your lift plan is your blueprint for safety, and it must be clear, complete, and customized for every lift. No matter how routine a lifting activity may seem, every lift requires a thorough risk assessment before execution. Skipping this step or underestimating the hazards can lead to serious incidents. Let's break down the key areas that must be considered. 1. Load characteristics. We must evaluate the weight, shape, dimensions, and most importantly, the center of gravity of the load. If this is misjudged, the load can shift or tip during lifting, putting everyone at risk. 2. Environmental factors. Conditions such as wind speed, visibility, and overall weather play a major role in safe lifting. For example, strong winds can cause suspended loads to swing unpredictably. 3. Site conditions. Ground stability is critical, especially when using mobile cranes. We must assess the soil condition, compaction, and whether additional support or matting is needed. 4. Overhead hazards. Always scan for power lines, scaffolding, structures, or other cranes. Any unaccounted obstacle increases the risk of collision or uncontrolled swing. In summary, risk assessment is not a formality. It's a vital tool to identify potential hazards and apply the necessary controls. It's the difference between a controlled lift and a dangerous one. A successful and safe lifting operation depends not only on equipment and planning, but also on the people involved. Each team member has a critical role and clear responsibilities must be defined and followed. Let's go through the key roles. 1. Crane operator, rigger. The crane operator is responsible for operating the crane safely, strictly according to the manufacturer's guidelines. They must perform daily inspections of both the equipment and the load chart, ensuring that the lifting capacity is never exceeded. During lifting operations, the operator must maintain full focus and avoid any distractions. 2. Signalman/flagman. The signalman is the eyes and ears on the ground. They provide clear and standardized signals to the operator, always maintaining visual contact with the load. It's also their job to alert the team to any immediate hazards during the lift. 3. Lifting supervisor. The lifting supervisor ensures that the lift is executed strictly according to the approved lift plan. They must verify that all hazards have been properly assessed and controlled, and they are responsible for coordinating communication between all team members to maintain safe operations. 4. Rigger and safety officer. The rigger is in charge of selecting and attaching the correct lifting gear, making sure it's suited for the load and in good condition. The safety officer must verify that all safety controls are in place and ensure that the lift plan and risk assessment documents are complete and approved. Each role is essential and there's no room for overlap or confusion. Clear coordination and communication among the team is the foundation of every safe lifting operation. Exclusion zones are one of the most effective safety measures in any lifting operation. They act as a critical safety buffer, keeping personnel away from areas where falling objects, swinging loads, or unexpected equipment failure could pose serious risks. Let's look at the best practices for implementing exclusion zones effectively. 1. Establish zones based on swing radius plus a safety margin. Start by calculating the full load swing radius, then add a generous safety margin. This ensures no one is within striking distance of the load. 2. Use physical barriers, not just tape. Whenever possible, use solid physical barriers, such as fencing or barricades. Caution tape alone is often ignored and can be easily crossed. 3. Post clear signage at all entry points. Make it absolutely clear, no unauthorized entry. Place warning signs in multiple languages if necessary to ensure everyone understands the risk. 4. Assign dedicated personnel to monitor zone boundaries. Have someone specifically responsible for maintaining the integrity of the exclusion zone. They should prevent any unauthorized access and monitor the surroundings during the lift. 5. Communicate zone locations in daily briefings. Exclusion zones should be clearly communicated during the daily toolbox talks or pre-task briefings so that every worker on site knows exactly where they are and why they're critical. Finally, as we saw in the case study, even though the equipment was damaged, no injuries occurred because proper exclusion zones were in place. That's the power of proactive safety planning. Taglines are a simple but critical tool in lifting operations. They allow workers to control the movement of suspended loads, especially during placement, while staying safely out of harm's way. Let's walk through the best practices for using taglines effectively. 1. Control without compromise. Taglines provide the ability to guide and stabilize the load, preventing uncontrolled movement or dangerous swinging without putting anyone directly in the fall zone. 2. Selection. Always choose a non-conductive high-visibility rope. The tagline should be of adequate length and strength, long enough to keep the handler at a safe distance, but strong enough to withstand the load's force. 3. Attachment. Attach the tagline securely to non-structural parts of the load. Avoid connection points that could cause damage or shift the center of gravity. Use proper knots to prevent slipping during the lift. 4. Positioning. Handlers must always stay outside the fall zone and swing radius. Their position should allow them to guide the load safely without ever stepping into a danger zone. 5. Communication. Tagline handlers must maintain constant visual contact with the signalman. Clear communication is essential to coordinate movement and avoid misjudgments. When used correctly, taglines enhance control, protect workers, and improve precision during complex lifts without compromising safety. As we wrap up today's session, let's take a moment to reflect on the key takeaways and outline what comes next. 1. Review your current practices. Start by evaluating your current lift planning documentation, risk assessments, and role assignments. Compare them against the best practices we discussed today. Are they detailed? Are they site-specific? Are they consistently followed? 2. Implement improved protocols. It's time to raise the standard. Make sure your organization integrates comprehensive lift planning into every lifting activity, thorough risk assessments for every unique operation, clear role definitions into your standard operating procedures. These steps are not just compliance requirements, they are life-saving practices. 3. Prepare for advanced topics. In our next session, we'll move into more advanced material. We'll cover rigging calculations, including sling angles, load distribution, and equipment selection, and we'll also examine real-life case studies of lifting failures, analyzing what went wrong and how it could have been prevented. Let me leave you with this. Lifting operations are among the highest risk activities on construction sites. Through detailed planning, thorough assessment, and clear role allocation, we ensure successful, efficient, and most importantly, safe operations. Thank you for your focus and participation today. Stay safe and see you in the next session.